Hello, everyone. Coming up here on this New Year's Day edition. Happy New Year, everyone. Coming up on the day one edition of Monday Night Raw, kicking off the new year with a World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins defends the championship against Drew McIntyre. Could Seth Rollins do the impossible tonight and defeat Drew McIntyre, who wants a shot of becoming the world champion and star of 2024 with a banger? Plus, two, we found out that Triple H said something that former WWE champion was about to schedule appear. He found out it was none other than the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One, The Rock, making a rare appearance tonight. The Rock, you won't believe what The Rock had to say. The Rock had to say a lot tonight. We'll get to it. Also, too, the Women's Championship is on the line. Rhea Ripley set to defend her title against Ivy Nile. And also, too, Becky Lynch kicks things off on Raw against Nia Jax. Plus, tag team titles are on the line in the women's division, like a number one contendership. Natalya and Tegan Knox taking on Shayna and, I forgot her name, Zoe Stark. Yeah, that's the name. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this day one edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. Happy New Year, everyone. We're kicking off 2024 with the day one edition of Monday Night Raw. And what a day one edition was, but we'll get to it in a minute. First thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend. Kick this new year off by subscribing, following, wherever you're watching on all our platforms, on social accounts. We thank you for watching. Happy New Year, everyone. 2024 is going to be a good start, and I hope you all have a good start for your 2024 coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you for watching, as always. All right, we're going to get things started right now here on the Pro Wrestling Show. As you see right here, a lot going on for Raw. Raw was a banger of a show. We'll get to it coming up. Happened here tonight on Raw right here. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett kicked off the show for the day one edition of Raw. And what a Raw it was, giving us the rundown of what's going to go down tonight. We're going to have title matches, two big world title matches as well coming up tonight. Like I said, it was that. Well, we kick things off with this. The man, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, the man, is here to kick off day one Raw. She went against Nia Jax. Becky Lynch wants to get some revenge tonight over Nia Jax. She feels like Nia Jax blooded her up, and Nia Jax did oblige. Nia Jax came out there walking tall and bad and bold. Becky Lynch wanted to get her revenge and surrender her loss over Nia Jax after they was name calling each other. And Nia said that Becky wants a moment again getting blooded up, and Becky was saying that Maya might get fired again. But a lot of people are saying Nia Jax is improving in the ring, that her ring work has gotten better. I think so too. Nia Jax is a little bit safer now than she was dangerous. But Nia Jax did not stop there. Nia Jax thought she had Becky Lynch cornered, but Nia Jax hit the bonsai drop to get the win over Becky Lynch, pinning Becky Lynch, suffering her first loss tonight of the new year on the hands of Nia Jax and getting bloody up for her troubles. I think Becky Lynch might have to tone it down a little bit on what she had said, but someone put this right here. This was a tweet right here by TNT Sports. History repeats itself. Becky Lynch getting bloody and battered and beaten down by Nia Jax. I think Becky Lynch might have to rescore her course on what she says about Nia Jax coming up. Speaking of that, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, said that next week he'll take on Shinsuke Nakamura in a match. The match is going to happen tonight, but they're going to save that match for later. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, saying that he's going to wait But we'll tell you a little bit a little bit less on tonight about what's going on with Cody. Cody may have his dream shattered again, if you know what I mean. And speaking of that, like 5 years ago on this day, Cody, along with other luminaries from AEW, they launched AEW, and 5 years later, Cody's not in AEW, Cody's in WWE. But we know that Cody Rhodes left AEW to get opportunity to finish the story. He may not finish the story. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Cody Rhodes will take on Shinsuke Nakamura next week on Raw to hopefully get some retribution, revenge on Shinsuke Nakamura. Cody wants that revenge and retribution coming up sooner rather than later. So we'll see that coming up next week on Raw. Speaking of that, we got a reunion of sorts. The Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth reunited. They took on the Judgment Day in an impromptu matchup. R-Truth and Miz haven't reunited since 2011. That's been almost, 13 years? 13 years ago? And 13 years later, they're reunited. They both look the same, but you can tell the Miz and Awesome Truth took on Dominic Mysterio and JD Madonna. JD Madonna feels like R-Truth is playing games with the Judgment Day. Well, R-Truth found a way to win his match and win together with Truth. Well, I guess the Awesome Truth now a babyface tag team. Ain't that something? 13 years later, you're a babyface tag team. Man. Well, the Women's World Championship was on the line. Rhea Ripley set to defend the championship against Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile in the biggest championship match of her career, went against Rhea Ripley. But she was no match for the women's champion, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley dominated Ivy Nile, who saw like equal in matches to her power and finesse. Rhea Ripley used the Riptide, saw like a version of the pump handle slam to get the win. Rhea Ripley retains her women's title over Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile might have to train again, and maybe one day down the road, Ivy Nile might be women's champion sooner rather than later. So we'll see. Well, speaking of that, Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston teamed up together. They went against Imperium. Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso looked impressive in their match against Imperium and dominated as well. Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso won their match over Imperium. It was easy, like a piece of cake. Like I think they're building Jey to go against Gunther. Jey might be the one to take down Gunther and become the Intercontinental Champion. That's one of my predictions. I predict during 2024, Jey Uso will probably dethrone Gunther and become the new Intercontinental Champion, leading to Jey defending the championship against his brother Jimmy, who's gonna feel jealous that Jey won a singles championship over than him did. You know how that go. Well, speaking of that, Jay's cousin, you won't believe it, but we'll tell you now. Jinder Mahal, many people speculated that he was the former WWE champion to appear on Raw tonight. Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion. Jinder Mahal was WWE champion in 2016, 2017, when he won the championship from Randy Orton. Jinder Mahal claimed that he was the 50th WWE champion, which he was, but he got interrupted by none other than the great one, the people's champion, The Rock. The Rock returned to Raw. The Rock talked crap to Jinder Mahal. I didn't even know it was just an impromptu. The Rock came out there blazing saddles. The Rock was nearby during a college game day appearance because of Alabama versus Michigan and them. The Rock came out there talking smack like always. The Rock killing the time throughout. The Rock made his appearance well known. The Rock made clear that Jinder Mahal, he don't care about no Jinder Mahal. We haven't seen Jinder Mahal in months, and all of a sudden they're gonna bring Jinder Mahal back. And Jinder Mahal got the opportunity to be in the presence of The Rock. The Rock laid the smackdown Jinder Mahal and walk it dry, and The Rock did his thing, and The Rock put Jinder Mahal down to rest, and The Rock teased that he could be heading towards SmackDown, and getting his hands on his cousin Roman. We'll love to see that, Rock and Roman. That'll be the match. I think that'll be the match for WrestleMania. A lot of people are saying Rock versus Roman for Elimination Chamber, but I don't believe that. There's got to be that match is going to be bigger. It has to happen in WrestleMania in Philadelphia. I think the Rock and Roman may happen. I think Cody Rhodes' dreams may be in Clifton in his own very eyes. That could be the Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania Sunday in Philadelphia rather than Cody. So we could see that coming to a head. But who knows? But The Rock made his return tonight. And The Rock looking impressive. Rock looked like he was jacked to the gills. The Rock looked jacked up. So hey, we know what The Rock thinking and The Rock's doing. The Rock wants to make the match happen. He's gonna make the match happen, and that could be the case right there for The Rock. Speaking of that, who's gonna follow that through? Well, Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler followed it through, and they won their match tonight over Natalya and Tegan Knox. That was a quick sleeper match, if you ask me. But Natalya and they could be in contention for the women's tag team titles. Speaking of the women's tag team championship situation, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven went to the club to meet the women's tag team champions Kayla Carter and Tegan, and could kind of chance at the club holding their titles, saying they better not get too comfortable holding their championships because it's going to be a day and time they're going to come back and want to win the championship, and that could be a case. But the women's tag team situation is heating up with Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler having problems, so we know that's going on. You got to wonder, we'll talk about it on Wrestling Hot Topics, that Mercedes Moné, better known as Sasha Banks in WWE, wanted a Charlotte Flair type level contract. She was going to come back, but negotiations fell through, so that didn't happen tonight. So we'll get there a little bit later on Wrestling Hot Topics. Speaking of that, we know next week CM Punk slated to return. CM Punk slated to return. I guess he's going to announce his intentions to the Royal Rumble match and what CM Punk's going to do. CM Punk's coming back, and he's going to make it clear the Royal Rumble is coming up in a couple of weeks. At the end of last Saturday in January, to CM Punk win it and go to WrestleMania and main event WrestleMania. That's what he wanted. If he does, he'll probably main event night one that Saturday to go against either Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, whoever's in that championship picture, or whoever they may be. So we'll see. Well, we get to the main event. The main event of the evening. The main event of the evening was for the coveted WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins defends against Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre go one-on-one, and what a match it was throughout the match. As you can tell right here, the match was that intense. Seth and Drew, you can tell right here, Seth Rollins at the final end of the stretch of the match, Drew hit the Claymore kick with Drew had all his wits going around the Judgment Day. Damian Priest wanted to cash in. He almost did, and then all of a sudden Drew saw it and targeted trying to take out the whole Judgment Day. The Judgment Day got taken back by Seth Rollins, by Drew McIntyre. Drew tried to make the cover and landed. Seth had his foot on the rope. Seth Reversal Affair had his foot on the rope. Seth Rollins pinned Drew McIntyre with the curve stomp to get the 1-2-3. Seth Rollins retains and still the world champion. So I expect Drew and Seth, this is far from over. They're going to have a match at Royal Rumble. So we'll see this match heading your way at Royal Rumble. So look for that happening soon rather than later on that in Royal Rumble. All right. That does it for the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we're talking about this. We're hearing reports that Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Moné are both expected to join AEW. We're hearing reports too that Deonna could be making an appearance at Royal Rumble. Mercedes could be making her appearance at AEW. So there's a lot going on. I believe if they do come to AEW better capitalize on, because they're going to be your top women that could be going for the women's title and making your championships more the women's championship prestigious, and Tony Storm could have something going, having something cooking. But we're hearing reports as well. So hopefully Tony Khan don't screw this up as well as he should. He's got a lot of problems going on with him right now. But we're hearing reports that Mercedes Moné, she had talks with WWE, but the talks fell through, and now she could be joining AEW sooner rather than later. Now, I just hope she makes the right decision, that she just don't get underutilized like she would be in WWE. We'll see how that's going to go for Mercedes, but Mercedes Moné, a great wrestler. It's just that she couldn't come to a term agreement with WWE, and then too she had her off and on problems with Vince McMahon. So that's understandable. But Vince ain't no longer in control no more. So we'll see how it's gonna go with Mercedes Moné. Speaking of champions, MJF, the former AEW champion, the longest reigning AEW champion, he was nowhere near, and a lot of people are speculating that he could on the AEW roster page. He's nowhere to be found. So who knows with what's going on? MJF, we hearing reports that WWE wasn't really interested in him, that he's just making things up, trying to say the bidding war in 2024, and this is the first day of 2024, and MJF hasn't been around. So we'll know what's going on. There's probably a storyline to add fuel, add interest. So we'll see how this is gonna go for MJF after he got attacked and beat up and written off his off AEW. So who knows? Speaking of the Hogans, Hulk Hogan and his daughter Brooke. Brooke Hogan just revealed that she's married. Congratulations to Brooke. Brooke Hogan wanted to show pictures of her and her husband together. So Brooke Hogan and her husband together. Speaking of Brooke's father, Hulk Hogan, he's relaxing and chilling and banging with his new wife. Hulk Hogan finds a new wife every year, and this just ceases to amaze me. So we'll see. Well, there's been some commentary changes as well. We'll tell you this right here. Now we know that Michael Cole and Wade Barrett will be representing Raw, as Cody Rhodes and Kevin Patrick will be representing SmackDown. Those were when they was on the announce team for both shows on different eras, different like last year. Now we know going forward, WWE wants to go do a 2-man booth. I guess Kevin Dunn ain't in charge of that no more. They just gonna let Michael Cole makes his own play and makes his own call. So hey, we'll see how that's gonna go and how it's gonna be. Also, too, CM Punk revealed this right here, that WrestleMania he was supposed to slate to go against Triple H, and I guess that's what it was supposed to be. But hey, CM Punk put that out there. So hey, speaking of that, we talk about this. Fox announced who their awards is. Breakout Star, LA Knight, Match of the Year, Intercontinental Triple Threat Match, Sheamus, Gunter, and Drew. Return of the Year, CM Punk, Crowd Chat of the Year, by by LA Knight. I meant to say Eli Drake, but he was Eli Drake in a different company. Faction of the Year, The Judgment Day, Female Star, its leader, Rhea Ripley. Tag Team of the Year, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Rival of the Year, the Bloodline Civil War. And Male Superstar of the Year, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes winning a lot of Male Superstars of the Year, including this right here. Sports Illustrated announced that Cody Rhodes was #1 in their book. Rhea Ripley, MJF, Trinity was the only person from Impact, TNA, Seth Rollins. A lot of names being added to the screen. So hey, well, we told you this. Tony Khan is under fire right now. You got to address some claims about Chris Jericho about the SA situation. We told you about from the Pro Wrestling Show Special World's End review show. So there's a lot going on with Tony Khan. Hopefully he can get it addressed before it be too late. Also, too, spring football season. We heard that the Rocks, XFL, and the USFL are going to team up together and be formed as one as the United Football League. I guess they was competitors for spring football. Now they got to come together for one. So hey, we'll see how that's gonna go. Speaking of that, Dragon Lee, he made an announcement that he's stuck with visa issues. He won't be able to get out of Mexico. Dragon Lee saying right here that he's gonna have some news saying the LWO will have a big surprise. WWE Universe, who knows? It might be Andrade. You never know. That could be it. Andrade. You never know. Andrade might come back and help the LWO out. So who knows? We'll see. Speaking of that, Pro Wrestling Tees announced that who's their best sellers: CM Punk, the late great Jay Briscoe, MJF, and plenty many more wrestlers doing the independent thing. So hey, a lot of wrestlers coming out and showcasing their abilities on selling on their own independently. Well, I guess that's kind of it. We heard that Elias changed his name to Elijah. He's going to be coming in wrestling. He's doing a Whataburger theme thing, so I guess Elijah's doing a lot as well. AJ Lee showing that she's practicing. Could she be practicing for the Royal Rumble? That could be a possibility coming up for AJ Lee. Also, too, Rhea Ripley announced that her and Buddy Murphy sharing their 2003. They're gonna probably get married just sometime this year. Now we know too. Also too, before we go, that WWE is gonna do a live special preview. You're gonna see Triple H. You're gonna see CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, Ilya Dragunov, Bianca, and her husband Montez Ford. They're gonna be a part of the live special. So we'll see this Thursday on Peacock on how this is gonna go as well. Now we tell you this: the rundown for next week's Monday Night Raw. Next week's Monday Night Raw will feature Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll see that as well. Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. What's going to happen with that? Plus, CM Punk returns. CM Punk is back. So there's a lot going on tonight. So I guess that was it. That was it for tonight. Like we said, we're going to end that with the great one, The Rock. The Rock is returned, and he teased that he could be the head of the table. We don't know what it's going to lead to on SmackDown or what's going on with The Rock. So, for me being Kendrick Dick saying, thank you for watching the WWE Raw Ring Report Day 1 special.